a scientist might contribute to the debate information about at what point during the development of an embryo the nervous system comes into being, and presumably before the nervous system comes into existence there is no ability to feel pain or to suffer, and so maybe something important happens at the moment when the nervous system comes into being. On the other hand, you might say, well, even when a human embryo develops a nervous system and develops the capacity to perhaps suffer, it's still a much smaller nervous system than the nervous system of an adult cow. And so what about balancing the suffering of a human embryo against the suffering of an adult cow when it's being slaughtered for meat? An absolutist moralist would say, well, humans are just plain special, and cows are not human, so they don't deserve the same moral consideration. But a scientist might come along and say, well, what do you mean by that? I mean, we are, after all evolved, we're all cousins. At what point in the evolution of, since we know evolution is a fact, at what point in the evolution of humans would you suddenly draw the line and say, right, from now on they're all human, and before that they're not? In the evolutionary progression from the common ancestor with chimpanzees, lived about 6 or 7 million years ago, to modern humans, going through creatures which might have looked a bit like Lucy, might have looked a bit like the newly discovered fossil Ardi. Would you have given special human, moral, ethical consideration to Lucy, or would you count Lucy as though she was a chimpanzee? Does this perhaps suggest to you that we shouldn't be in the business of drawing lines between species in this kind of way? Maybe these lines should be regarded as more fuzzy and less clear-cut. Are absolutist moralities that do draw hard and fast lines between humans and all other species, even taking a human fetus and calling that human, and whereas an adult chimpanzee is not and doesn't deserve the same moral consideration, is that consistent with science? These are ways in which science can at least inform moral discussions.